Hi. So if you look at the typical ways in which teams use AI, it's either prompts or AI agents. Now, the thing about AI agents is that it takes time to build a good AI agent, and the the one of the ways in which you can still achieve the same task is by using prompt templates, and it's really an underutilized section within AI Central. I just wish people used it more, including my teams. And let's look at how that works. Okay, so I'm in the prompt studio, and within that, fine tune prompts, and this is basically where you'd be. You can see all the templates. Let me remind you that this is can be customized to your team. So this is for the marketing context. If you are into business consulting, this is can be customized to your context. If you are into recruitment or HR, this can be customized to your context. And there are two typically two scenarios in which you would prefer to use a prompt template. The first is when you have there are certain frameworks that you have, when you are doing tasks. So for example, in marketing, if you're doing any kind of blog post, or typically this is the entire, either you're doing some awareness related or you're doing some problem recognition, you are typically doing these kind of blog posts. So there's historically there are these frameworks by which, and for each you can have a certain kind of prompt which your team members can use. I mean, this happens quite a bit in marketing. I mean, unknowingly we use frameworks. I mean, this is for blog posts, this is for email copies, this is for landing page templates. So that's the the case of marketing. These are the latest frameworks. So in the example that comes to my mind is if you're into consulting, and you definitely have these kind of frameworks to manage when you're analyzing the business of your prospects, right? So again, this entire section can be customized to your particular use case. And what your team members need to do is just put in the details here, and basis that the prompt gets generated. And this is where you can codify your domain knowledge, which is what this video is all about. You can have your own like custom prompts here with respect to the way you typically something, right? So in your industry, if there are any frameworks that you typically want your team members to use, those can be codified here, and they can start using it. So the first scenario was basically various frameworks which get used in your particular industry. The other is that you actually want multiple inputs, before the prompt gets generated. And in this case, this is for a webinar invitation. It could be an invitation message, it could be a landing page copy. Basically, basis all of these questions, the copy gets generated. Again, there is no need to make an agent just for this. This can be managed by having a prompt template where all of these questions get baked into the prompt. Of course, this is like historically the way you would want the webinar landing page to look, or how your brand has to get captured on the page. That's how you would make this prompt. Right. So just to summarize, prompt templates, you can have your own prompt templates in AI Central, and we will help you set it up according to your industry, the frameworks that you typically use in your industry while doing work. And also the other use case where I said that you actually want your team members to answer a few questions before the prompt gets generated, and they can start using it. Thanks.